Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where we are ready to go on getting this teeny tiny little payload up to the ISS. So let's just throttle up, let's go to surface up, and let's check in on our orbital position here. Okay, so this is definitely not ideal in terms of launch times. Let's warp this forward a little bit until we get a little better here. And I'm keeping an eye on the angling of the target here as it passes overhead. We're not quite going to be in position here, but this looks reasonably fine, all things considered. Yeah, so we're going to be going southward. We'll have to get a little bit of rotation going as we take off, but about now or so would be the time to launch. So off we go. I was technically a little slow to throttle that up, but I want to rotate us around to about here or so, because we're going to be launching at an inclination, right? So that'll be fine. We'll hold position here and continue to go up until we hit about 20 kilometers, and then we're going to head over and start getting our horizontal speed at that point. So that'll be fine. We're getting a lot of verticality here. I'm also going to pin this open so that we can keep an eye on the fuel in our big orange tank. That'll be a useful thing to be able to do. Phenomenal. So that's okay for the time being. We're at about 10 kilometers apoapsis right now. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Okay. So now we can start making our way up this direction a bit on this heading approximately. I'm not sure exactly if this is the heading that we want, but that is increasing the ascending node, apparently. Okay, this is more like it. So we want to be going basically this way, right? Approximately. Really, we probably want to be... Oh, we just lost our SRBs. Yeah, that's painful. That was a big loss of attitude there. Oh, because it was trying to go to up. I'm dumb. Okay. We're going to bring this back over to the horizon. We've gotten some extra altitude out of that anyway. And I want to be basically at the horizon right under where the location of the station is right now. So we're going to be burning here until our apoapsis height is like, I don't know, 100, 120, something like that. We do have this descending node, though. We may actually want to go to normal minus, which is right off over here, and just fix our ascending-descending node. Get that down at least under 10 degrees. So that's what I'm going to do right now, and then we're going to go to horizontal velocity up as soon as that gets to a reasonable state. Okay, it's moving significantly, so I'm going to move us on over. Okay, we are now in space, so I'm going to freeze our rotation. There we go. Ditching these guys. Cool. And I want to get ourselves circularized here. We're at a decent inclination here, all things considered. This is a lot of horizontal speed that we need. Okay. So we're going to start that burn in about 14 seconds. We need to go over to the node. About 10 seconds. This is going to be a little awkward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, mark. Okay. So we're going to have to get the rest of that turning done with our gimbaling, which was a little sad, but this is the direction we want to be going for right now. We're actually in a really, really close inclination here, 1.1 degrees. That's not too bad, all things considered. So we'll accept that. And then, of course, we just need to get ourselves into an orbit here. I'm keeping an eye on our fuel tank here before we configure for spaceflight. That is, of course, something we will need to do to avoid this nonsense that we're seeing here. That will be necessary. We've got about 900 meters per second to go here. This is claiming that it's got like 1100. We'll see. We've still got fuel in the big orange tank, and as long as we get to orbit with the big orange tank, then we're relatively happy. So that's absolutely fine. And we don't really care about what orbit we get to here, as long as we get into an orbit and the inclination isn't too far off from what we had targeted. How much has that changed? Almost none. Okay, beautiful. Cool. And we are in an orbit as of now. Okay, we're going to kill that rotation. We've still got 300 meters per second here, so we could fix our inclination if we really felt like we wanted to. We did drift off an additional 0.3 degrees, but yeah, we can definitely fix this to be about here. 55.9 meters per second. And then we could ditch this particular tank. Yeah, that would probably be for the best. So we're going to head on over to that node. I am going to thrust limit us down to 10% so that we don't wiggle as much. We're still offset on the thrust, though, so we're going to have the node drifting on us. That is understood. And it's also fine. I'm not too concerned about that. So we're going to align to that node, and we're just going to warp on over. Phenomenal. 4 minutes. 3, 2, 1. And we'll warp a little bit further here. Okay, where are we at for the warping? There we go. 30 seconds, 20, 10, and 3, 2, 1, 0, mark. So it's going to be a 17-second burn, and we can see we're a lot more stable, but because of the thrust offset, the node drifts on us, and that is absolutely understood that that would be a thing. We're going to go about 2/3 of the way through, and then we're going to catch up with the rest of the node, and we can see our periapsis has dropped a little bit. So that's certainly not ideal. Hopefully it will bring itself back up a bit here. Okay, just getting it to that last little bit of the node is complicated because we're trying to utilize the fuel in here. But once we get configured for orbital flight, this will go a lot better. No doubt about that. Okay, 3 meters per second. This is probably good enough. Our periapsis height is going to come up over 70, though, with this last 3 meters per second. And I absolutely do want to get that back up. So there we go. We're going to call this good. So we'll go to kill rot here, and we're going to decouple this. We no longer need that fuel. We're now going to have Bill go and reconfigure us for orbital flight, so we don't have this ridiculous thrust offset. So downward we go here. Any moment now, Bill. There you go. Yeah, hop on in. Phenomenal. Now we are going to unstrut these. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. Cool. Now we change our angle from 20 degrees to 0 degrees. And we can reuse these struts. Apparently, I can minimize the game. Perfect. So we're going to reuse these struts and just slap this guy in here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We don't really need any more than this. This is more than enough. We do have this strut here. I'll just slap it in here just in case. We might need it for the station or something. Who knows? So for now, we will turn our RCS on, and we're heading back onto the ship. Cool. So we'll grab that, and we'll hop in. We're now in orbit, and let's see what this would look like if we attempted to go for an encounter somewhere out over here. That's reasonably close. Okay, it looks like we're probably a little too late to get an encounter right now, so we'll have to take an orbit. That's fine. Any moment now. You can work, button. Thank you. Okay, so with the button actually working, we're going to be +1 additional orbit, and it's going to be right about here. That's a pretty big relative speed. We can maybe dial that in a little bit. And have it be something more along the lines of this, changing the timing of it. Yeah, this'll do. That's like half the relative speed and the same virtual separation. So that's absolutely fine there. No problem whatsoever, about 200 meters per second. We don't, of course, need this fuel here. Thank you for carrying us to orbit, big orange tank. We'll take it from here. So now we've got about 1 hour until this burn. So let's warp on forward. We'll have to take a couple of orbits because of our timing. No big deal. That's absolutely fine. This does not feel like it's warping very quickly at all. Probably because we're so low, I guess. This is warping very slowly. We were in auto warp. Let's try this again. We'll align here. Yeah, this is auto warping incredibly slowly. Okay, I'll manually warp us a little bit closer here. So this is the speed it was auto warping at. And oh, we actually can't. Well, our periapsis is below 7250. Okay, I guess that's fine. Let's just go around to the apoapsis then and raise up our apoapsis a tiny, tiny bit. It doesn't need to be much at all. So 10 minutes, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So sometime around now, I want to go around to prograde. We're going to physics warp as we turn. Cool. And I'm just going to boost up our periapsis height to there. Now we should actually be able to warp at a reasonable speed. I didn't know that that was 7250. That's good to know. Okay. So let's head on over. And we'll warp at an actually reasonable speed now. Phenomenal. Okay. So we'll align to this node. We've got about 1 minute till the burn begins. That's absolutely okay. We'll physics warp while we align. There we go. And we've got about 45 seconds. 30, 20, 10, and 3, 2, 1, 0, mark. Okay. This is going to be a kind of slow burn because we've thrust limited this down, but that is very deliberate. Cool. With physics warp, definitely not so bad. 5 meters per second to go here. This is probably close enough. Yeah, this is close enough. Okay, how are we doing? 5 kilometers? Not bad. We'll warp around to here, and that is, of course, going to now require some corrective burning. Okay, so we're going to be at about a relative velocity difference of 200 meters per second. So I think we should bring this around to relative velocity minus right away and be doing our corrective burnings in minus for the moment. I don't know where the station is. Oh, there it is. 26 kilometers out. That's not too bad. So we'll put this over into Kilrot and we'll position ourselves about here or so. And we'll push that right on over. Cool. Got ourselves a nice corrective burn there. 0.8 kilometers now. Not bad at all. So we'll warp in a little bit closer here. Maybe not this close. It's reasonably fine. And I think we'll start this at about 2.5 kilometers. Previously, our burn was a little bit on the slow side, but I'm going to do a corrective burn here right now. So corrective burn currently, and then we want to just head directly over to relative velocity minus. Okay. So we'll just park about here. We're only a kilometer away right now. Okay, that's... we might overshoot this. I'm going to rotate us a little bit, but I don't think we're going to collide. Yeah, we're not. We're overshooting slightly, and we're only 30 meters per second right now. This is not too bad. This is actually the side that we need to be on, so that's reasonably fine, all things considered. Let's put this back into up over here, and we can kill our relative velocity once we get a little closer here. We can set, like, this guy as our target here, and then we can use RCS to adjust our velocity ever so gently here. There we go. We don't actually want to hit this, right? But we can use that to guide us to approximately where we want to be, because we want to put this thing in right over here. We're in exactly the right position right now. So it's actually a good thing that we overshot a bit there. I mean, that was a dangerous maneuver that would never be allowed near the actual ISS, but luckily this isn't the actual ISS. So we could definitely begin a bit of a braking maneuver right now. We are certainly going to need to do that a bit. Okay, we're about 0.3 meters per second here. We're going to want to go up a little bit, but what I really want to do is get us positioned first, and then we'll orient, or actually, I want to get us oriented first, and then we'll get our final positioning done. So we're just going to get in a little closer here. For now, this is reasonably fine. I'm going to slow us down a little more. There we go. Adjusting our velocity ever so gently here. Okay. We're going to call that good. Now, I'm going to rotate us about like so. Basically a 90-degree rotation here. And I want to align us about like... Oh, stop it. Don't go around a target velocity up. No. Bad smart ASS. Okay, so we're going to position this about here or so. We're going to need to go in a little bit. So let's turn RCS on, and we're going to need to go down functionally from here. So we're going to just go in a little bit like so. Phenomenal. Okay. Looking good. We're just getting a bit closer here. We should probably turn our shuttle a bit here. So I'm just bringing us to a halt right now. Okay, RCS off, and I'm going to rotate us this way. About 90 degrees. Cool. Then I'm going to turn in this direction, and we don't want to actually impact the station, but we just want to be parked about right here, right? So that's fine. We can then link up with the robotic arm if we really wanted to. I think that's probably a good idea, actually. So we would arm this guy, and then we could just rotate to be about here or so. Extend out our robotic arm. Okay, we're undershooting it a bit. We can scoop up this direction a bit. We actually impacted. I did not intend to do that. But hey, we grabbed it. Okay, I guess that works. So now we can have somebody EVA. Kerbal's disappeared from over here. They are in here, so I guess we could EVA Bill from here. That works. And now I want Bill to let go here. And we need to stabilize this a little bit. RCS on, please, Bill. And you are going to head up over this direction, with your mission being... grab one of these struts. Where did that strut go? He actually went out of range, I think. Okay. So grab one of these struts and connect it from here, and I don't care where it connects to. Just connect somewhere. There we go. So now we're strutted in, and we're relatively solid. We can grab onto this ladder, and then we can start to utilize our actual craft here. So let's halt our rotation. Actually, we can't do that while Kerbals are on a ladder. Right. Just kill rot, please. It's actually relatively stable now that we no longer have this fuel down here. So that looks good. No problem there. I do want to get this guy rotated on out. So that's going to be... if I can grab it. Come here, alligator hinge. There you go. A 90-degree rotation. Perfect. And then we're going to start building this in reverse. This is unfortunately not currently close enough. We can bring it a little bit closer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this guy here, And we're going to turn this traverse rate way, way down. And then we're going to set our target extension down a bit. So that will hopefully result in the shuttle pulling itself a bit in. No, it won't because of the strut. That's right. Never mind. The strut is going to make that problematic. Okay. In that case, we should probably unstrut, which we can do. We can unstrut this from here, if I can get the angle on it. There we go. So we unstrut that for now, and then we pull this in a little bit. I'm not sure if we're pulling the station to the shuttle or the shuttle to the station. Probably a little bit of both. And then from there, we would want to re-strut this, just to make sure we have the stability. So strutting from here to here is fine. That is not where I wanted that to go. Strut from here to here is fine. Okay, there we go. Now we're in range to grab at least some of these parts. So that looks good. We're going to toggle snap on. And I want to attach this guy basically in line with these, right? So right along here-ish, or even... We can change the snapping. Okay. Even like right here, like halfway between. That's not quite where it needs to go. About there, but we need to change the actual rotation of it to go this direction just a teeny tiny bit. Okay, so something along the lines of that, and then we can grab a micro node. The micro node goes there. We can grab the I-beam. The I-beam is going to go... Let's see here. This direction. But it needs to get a little bit rotated to match that. Snapping is on, so that looks good. Snapping actually might need to be off here to match it better. Right about there. Cool. Now then. We can see that this angling is definitely imperfect. Very definitely imperfect. Yeah, I don't like this angling. Okay, so I'm going to pull this guy out of here for now. The micro node is going to go onto here for now. And I'm just going to turn snapping back on, and we're just going to have this be snapped here for the moment. Okay, the micro node then goes back on there. This guy can go here. With snapping on, we make sure that this is rotated correctly. There we go. And I don't think this is perfectly in line, but we're just going to have to call it good enough for now, I think. So we're going to go back into place mode. We're going to put this guy over here. That also needs to be rotated a bit. Okay, there we go. And then we grab this container. The container goes directly on this micronode, if we can get it on there. There we go. And we can angle that a little bit better. That'll do. I think. I think that's about right. Something doesn't feel right when I look at it like this, though. But everything looks straight when I look at it. I don't know. Maybe it's just this guy needs to be rotated a little bit. So it would need to be rotated like this or so. That looks straighter to me. Okay, we'll call that good. We can always fix this with an EVA later if we want to. So that'll be fine for now. That is actually this entire construction portion. So that's done. Nothing else to be done there. Unless we want to change some of the rotation. I do not want to impact these bits over here. So we're going to head on down and climb back in the shuttle. And we're pretty much done with this shuttle mission. This was a secondary mission of this particular shuttle mission, so the primary mission was not to bring up a big old module. We just brought up a small component of it, and that'll do for now. It is time to put a cut in here, although, Bill, you really should probably unstrut us. So what you should do is you should take this out of here. And we could store this in the cockpit, I suppose, but we really do want to put it back where we got it, which I think was up in this container. Yeah, let's keep it on the station at least. So we'll do that, and then we'll be ready to head on back. It is, however, time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, well, actually, let's get out of here first. This is not necessarily all that safe to have a physics reset in, so let's just get out of here, have a little bit of distance, get our arms stowed, and then we can put that cut in. Because we just don't want to reset physics while the space shuttle is in a position to flap around like that, right? So that's absolutely okay. We'll get this all stowed. Looks good. Phenomenal. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very, very special thank you. This is... okay. We might want to bring up replacement hinges for this. I don't know. We'll see. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.